It all began in secret, as so many of our stories do. I remember those early moments of curiosity, quiet whispers in the privacy of my own room. It was a discovery of my own body, a new sensation that felt both strange and natural. There was no one to talk to, no guide, so I kept it to myself. This new part of my world was mine alone. It was a personal journey from the very start. My body was a map I was just beginning to read. Each touch was a new discovery, a moment of connection with myself. There was a purity in that initial curiosity, no shame, just learning. But as time went on, the secrecy grew heavier. I knew, without being told, that this was something you didn't talk about. The world was loud about everything else, but on this, silence. I wondered if other girls felt this mix of wonder and confusion. The world teaches us to be quiet about our bodies, to hide our self-discovery. What started as natural exploration began to feel like something I had to hide. This is where the journey gets complicated for so many of us. Over the years, that simple act of discovery changed. It became a quick fix for stress, a way to numb the noise in my head. When life felt chaotic, this was something I could control. It became my go-to coping mechanism, comfort for loneliness, anxiety, uncertainty. But the comfort was fleeting and the emptiness grew. I was using my body to soothe my mind, not to heal. The cycle left me feeling more isolated than ever. How could something so personal leave me so disconnected? It became a wall between me and my real emotions. This is what I call the comfort trap. We cling to what soothes us, avoiding the hard work of true self-care. Self-touch became a routine, a way to avoid bigger questions. It was easier than facing the emotional turmoil inside. But that trap keeps you stuck. It prevents growth, healing, and true understanding. I realized I needed something more. Let's be real. Society doesn't make it easy for women to talk about this. From a young age, we're taught to be modest, to hide our bodies, to be pure. Our bodies are seen as things to be controlled or admired, rarely as our own. The message of a woman owning her sexuality for herself is missing. This silence is a form of control, breeding shame and confusion. Without language or permission, we internalize the idea that our desires are wrong. So many of us carry this secret, feeling alone and broken. The shame makes us hide, and the hiding reinforces the shame. We're left to navigate this personal territory alone in the dark. Women's bodies are everywhere in media, but honest conversation about our own experience, almost non-existent. The narrative is always about pleasing others, never about self-love. The idea of self-pleasure as self-exploration is radical. Breaking this silence is about reclaiming our bodies and our right to understand ourselves. It's about giving ourselves permission to be whole. We deserve to talk, to share, and to learn from each other. There came a point when I knew something had to change. The emptiness after the act was louder than the comfort it gave. I had to ask, what am I really looking for? I decided to pause, to create space between impulse and action. I turned to my journal, writing down my feelings without judgment. Patterns emerged. I saw the urge was strongest when I felt unseen or unloved. It was a cry for connection I tried to answer physically. I started meditating just 5 minutes a day. At first, my mind raced, but I stayed. Slowly, I learned to sit with discomfort, to observe my feelings. I was learning to be my own safe harbor, to find peace within. This journey wasn't about stopping self-touch forever. It was about understanding it, reclaiming it as a conscious choice. I learned to ask, what do I truly need right now? Sometimes it was rest, a good cry, or a call to a friend. And sometimes it was the intimacy of my own touch, now with presence and intention. Through this journey, my understanding of self-touch has transformed. It's no longer a shameful secret or mindless habit. It's part of my self-care, an intentional act of awareness. It can be a celebration, a way to connect with myself lovingly. But it's not my only tool. The power is in the consciousness I bring to it. This path isn't a straight line. There are still lonely days and old patterns, but now I meet myself with compassion, not judgment. This isn't about perfection, but about lifelong self-love and understanding. There's nothing shameful about masturbation, but we must be honest about why we do it. Are we connecting with ourselves or avoiding deeper needs? Real healing comes from facing what's underneath. The most profound relationship you'll ever have is with yourself. Nurture it with love, honesty, and radical compassion. That is where your true power lies.